Okay, cool. Unfortunately, that was not recorded, so the rest of the world will never know how to draw donuts as well as you all. You'll have to have that title of the best donut drawers in the world. Okay, let's do this. Okay, the next one is a little bit weird. Oh man, that's really beautiful. It's actually not that weird. It just looks delicious. I have to find it. There's a dessert that you basically take an entire pear and you bake the whole pear. And then it's got this crispy crust. And this photographer cut the pear in half so you can actually see halfway through the pear. And I just want to draw it because you get to draw a pear and you get to draw the crust and you get to draw the dessert. And then we'll do some pies. These are like the non-pie desserts. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Well, it's dessert drawing day.
I guess it is. I guess today is dessert drawing day, which is look how good that looks. So basically my mom, maybe, I mean, no offense to your family or anything, but I think my mom is the best pie baker in the entire world. I might be a little biased, but she got me this book so that I could learn how to bake pies. And do you want to know how many pies I've baked so far? 0. I baked 0. But this Thanksgiving, I'm going to learn. I did make some crust. I did make some crust with her, so she taught me how she did that. But I think this is pie crust, and I think you put it over this pear. So let's see if we can figure it out. Let's do the one that you can see through. Whew, okay, here we go. All right, so this is the other thing. I talk about combining shapes all the time. Not all the time, but Jacob can tell you. We like add shapes together, and then we'll combine them. So the shape that I see first is it's like a squished ball. So it's almost like at first it was a circle, and then it got baked in the oven, and then it got squashed. So let me show you a fresh pear. I'll draw the fresh pear up here. So here's a fresh pear. It's a circle. And then it's got the top of the pear, which basically makes like a triangle shape. And then you have the stem. Okay, so that's a fresh pear up here. So the cooked pear is going to be, it's almost like a circle, but it's going to be squashed and the bottom's going to be flat. The bottom of this pear is basically flat. Okay, so I'm going to do a flat bottom. And then, the stem, I don't know if you can see it in here. Yeah, you can see it. You can actually see the growth because of the way it's baked. You can actually see that the stem goes here and it goes right through the center. And it's going to go all the way back to the center of the bottom. So this is an interesting way of doing it, but I'm going to draw the stem, not from the top down. I'm actually going to draw the stem from the very bottom where the flower was. I'm going to come all the way up through the center and I'm going to curl out this way. So watch how I do this. I'm going to go up at an angle and then it's going to curl over this way. Wow. Really good. I'm glad I started recording this. I think this is going to be a good lesson ultimately. All right, so then we'll determine how long the stem is by deciding where the top of the pear goes. And I'm just going to cap off the top of the pear. And this is, every pear is a little bit different. And when it cooks in the oven, it's always going to be a little bit different. So if yours is a little bit different, it's fine. It's better than fine. It's good. So let's curl the top of this pear and have it join almost like a neck or a waist into the body of the pear. So we'll have the top of the pear, it angles down almost like a triangle, almost like a ramp, almost like a hill, and then it transitions into the body of the pear. And now we have our pear shape, whatever that looks like. The stem at the top, I admit, is a little bit thicker than I made it, and it's a little bit darker. So I'm not cheating, but I'm just going for a darker pencil, and I'm going to thicken up my stem, just because I want the stem to really read like it could hold, like it's strong enough to support itself. The pear is a big juicy fruit that's hanging from a tree, and the stem needs to be strong enough to hold that. So I'm thickening that up. And then we can do the inside, and then we'll do the crust on the outside. I'm going to save my red pencil for the crust. So I'm going to do most of the pear with my orange here. So I don't know what this is, but there's some kind of opening in the middle. Oh, I know what it is. That's where the seeds were. I bet you they carved out where the seeds were. Yeah, totally. Okay, so there's this little cavern on the inside. It's got straight walls on the side, and then it's got a curved top. And this is actually a hollowed out section because they had to scrape out the seeds because you don't want to eat those. I did hear that eating apple seeds is not that good for you. I would always eat the seeds. Not always, but like I was not scared to eat the seeds. So I'm told that you're not supposed to do that now because they have arsenic in it, like an actual like very, very small amounts, but good to avoid the seeds. And then I want to shade the inside of our pear, but I want to do it, kind of like the way I'm seeing it, meaning that I'm seeing like some interesting stem, there's a system, there's like a system of veins that distribute, nutrients and moisture and water to the rest of the pear. So I'm seeing like little dots. I'm seeing something that looks like it could be the veins of a leaf in some ways, and then I'm seeing spots that really don't have much. And I'm just going to shade that in. If you're not using color, it doesn't matter. You can just shade it gently with a pencil. You can kind of get it blurred. And if you're using a pencil, like a graphite pencil, you can even blend it. You can blend a little with your finger or another piece of paper. Sometimes the pencil even itself wants to like blend it a little bit. So like I said, we've got these the veins inside the pear, and then we've got this soft, the meat of the fruit, which has all the flavor, and it's got to be so good. I'm looking a little bit closer, and I hadn't seen this before, but if you look at the very top, and I suspect if you look at the very pears have a very thin skin. You can actually see the skin on the outside, like it's not peeled. You don't have to peel it, and you can eat the skin of the pear. But I'm just noticing up here before you get the crusty exterior, like the pie crust around this pear, you can see some of the skin, and I suspect that you can also imagine you see like a little thin line all the way around the pear that has the skin. So you could, if you wanted to, you could draw kind of a darker line on the silhouette, and you're not really drawing the silhouette. You're kind of drawing the thin layer of skin of pear skin, which is kind of interesting. It's almost like the same. It's almost like the same. All right, here we go. I'm just getting into the mood of a completely different type of material. So the pear is a fruit, and this is a baked fruit, so it's probably squishy. Where the pie crust is going to be a little bit crispier, and I don't know, maybe it looks like a blanket. I don't know. I'm thinking about like almost like this coat or this like sweatshirt that this pear is has around it. So I'm switching colors just so I can, for my own self, I can know the difference between the crust and the pear. And the pear is resting on a little, it's like a little crusty bed, almost like a cushion almost of pie crust. So the pear itself is not touching the table. It's the pie crust touching the table, and then the pear is on top of that. It's so cool. And remember when we did the inside of the donut? There's like the flaky stuff. Some of the marks that you do in the pie crust, you can mimic that flakiness of the inside of the donut. So part of part of the reason to draw is to get something that looks good. Another reason to draw is to just, figure out what you're looking at. And this in this case, this is kind of me getting familiar with something that I am going to bake. I mean, I am 100% going to make these, mainly because they look so good. And I always like to turn, if I ever draw food, I almost always cook it. Try to almost like make a sculpture. Whoa, Jake, was that a cherry or a strawberry? You're on mute. Strawberry? Looks good, whatever it is. All right. I mean, that looks good. It looks good to me. We could also do a, let's think about, I was going to say, let's put it inside of a rectangle, which I think is a good idea. But we can also draw the table. So there's everybody's tables are going to look different. Some are wooden, some are, some can be marble, not marble, but, granite. Sometimes there's a tablecloth. I'm drawing marks on the table that are mimicking the grains of the wood. So they're basically horizontal lines that are, it's the growth pattern for the grain of wood seen from the side. And if you look carefully, you can see where the table ends and the wall begins. So this might be an opportunity for you to put some wallpaper in. I don't always put stripes in the background, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll make pear. I'll make pear wallpaper. Yes. Is that too much? I feel like it might be too much. Too much pear for one drawing. Yes, you don't have to put pears in your wallpaper in the background, but you can if you want. Whoa, nice. Yes. I'm telling you, next time you go to a deli and you see a pie pear, it's going to be hard to resist. All right, so remember my pear was a circle and then had a triangle top and then a stem. So I'm just going to keep repeating that for my wallpaper. Circle for the body, triangle for the shoulders, and a little pie, a little stem. Circle, shoulders, pie, stem. Circle for the body, triangle for the shoulders, pie stem. All right, lots of pie. Lots of pear. I'm looking at these. I'm gonna put a little S curve in there. Just something else. Something else to make the background fun. Oh, and everybody, I know if this is like, not everybody's been to the class before, but I used to have an iPad and it had all these like camera settings on there. So this is like the first class that we've had where there's a lot of extra room. Jacob, do you sketch anything so far? Not just watching today? Cool. Are you eating strawberries? I wonder if we should make a strawberry pie. Let's see what I can do. Let me find some cool pie pieces. An actual slice. Oh, that would be fun. We could do, that might be hard. No, this one won't be that hard. Okay, I think this is called a lattice. Yeah, this piece of pie is called a lattice. We're not going to do the lattice. Let's just do the what is this one called? This one I think will be a little bit easier.
I think we should do after this, if we have time, we can do a pie slice.
Yes, we'll definitely do a pie. I was going to do a pie slice right now, but then I ran into this thing and I'm kind of into it.
Okay.
I promise we'll do a slice of pie. Okay. That book is a little bit too big. How about the Da Vinci? Let's see if the Da Vinci is the right size. But Da Vinci's kind of big too. I got to make it so it's my book that I'm working on is the same height, or else it'll go out of focus. Let's try this one. I think it's going to be okay. All right, party people. All right, this will be cool. All right, so all we have to do is start with a circle. Let's start with a circle. Oh dear, I need a clip now. Don't go. That should work. Okay, I made it so it won't fall down now. And are we straight? Almost straight. Oh, this way. Yes, yes, it's happening. We're doing it. All right. Okay, so let's start with a circle. And one of the ways you can get a perfect circle is I like to put a tick at the top and a tick at the bottom. And then if you can find this height and then turn it sideways, it usually does the trick. So this is the middle. This will be the side here. So it's almost like you're finding 4 points. And again, I got to move my picture over a little bit. There it goes. I really don't want my book to fall over. A candle. A candle will keep it up. Okay, sweet. So when I find these 4 points, the top and the bottom, the left and the right, and it's like almost inside of a square. I mean, and don't draw the square part, but if you wanted to, you could draw the square part. I just draw a perfect square, because if the circle is going to touch the middle of all 4 sides of your circle. So this isn't like a class on how to draw a circle, but if you want to be able to draw a circle, start with a square. And then that's how you go. So you start with a square. We know it's going to touch the middle of the top of the square, the middle of the bottom, the middle of the right, and the middle of the left. And then what I do is I start to do the curve somewhere. And then I start the curve in the middle down here, and then the middle on this side, and then the middle on the top. So I like see how it's like starting to form. Like I haven't connected it just yet, but you can, if you use like your if you use like your X-ray vision, not X-ray vision, but if you could almost like, you know, hypothesize where that circle is going to go, you can then start to connect it lightly. And then if you go light, you can start to build up something that looks kind of like a circle. And then once you're sure of yourself, then you can follow the line. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the pie. It's just the edge of the pie crust. I like that. Okay, so in the spirit of simplicity, let's do the, I'm going to break it into 2 colors, but let's start with the rows, and we'll start from the center and go down. So right through the middle of our circle, you just kind of, you can almost like choose a width, and you could draw a very thin straight line, but make it light, and then you can give each side a little bit of a wiggle. So there's a little bit of a texture, because I don't know what knife this person used, and they may have used like a little roller. I think I'll probably learn how to do that. But I think you can have an actual pie crust roller that when you roll it across the crust, it cuts it, but it cuts it with a wiggle. And this is a good lesson on construction lines versus final lines. So I need to do, you know, another strip of pie crust that comes down here. I'm going to try and make it roughly the same width. So these are what are called construction lines. You could do another strip of thin line, but then you can then come in and do the final line, which will be the wiggle. And when you get so many of these strips, it's like, okay, well, which is the strip and which is not the strip? Well, if you add a little bit of tone, like I'm adding a little bit of red, the red part is going to be the strip. And then the part that's not shaded, that's going to be the space between the strips. And that's where we will do the layer below. So we're almost going in reverse order. So this might seem like a simple lesson, but these are like really important ideas and everybody has to use them no matter what. Like construction lines is something that Leonardo da Vinci, and I'll actually open the book in a second. I randomly pulled the Leonardo da Vinci book. Some people think he's the greatest artist ever. He's like definitely up there, one of the smartest humans that there's ever been, the Italian Renaissance engineer and artist, Leonardo da Vinci. And I just have this book here. Even Da Vinci, who's arguably the best, he used construction lines because it's just how you draw. It's not, there's nothing special about it. It's just you need to, do light lines first so you don't, so you get a sense of where things are so you don't make a mistake later. All right, here's this next strip down this side. I mean, I can go a little bit quicker now because I can tell that the, I know what's going on. I've drawn 1, 2, 3. I've drawn 4 strips. So once you've drawn the same thing like 4 times, you probably are pretty good. I still don't want to get confused. Like I still want to know that, which is the gap between the strips and then which one is the strip. So I'm going to shade it a little bit. And I guess I just chose red because Jacob got me thinking about strawberries. So I don't think pie crust is really this bright red. Maybe the filling on the inside it would be. And then this one, I made the strip a little bit jagged, which I probably shouldn't have. Most of the other ones are kind of curvy. This one I made jagged, and I don't feel bad, but my pencil tip is getting a little bit dull, and I was rushing. And that's what happens when you rush. You want to be quick, but you don't want to hurry. When you hurry, you make mistakes. So I might have made a mistake. That's how it goes. Okay, wait. Jacob must have gotten kicked off. Let me put Jacob back in the house. Here we go. Did anybody finish the pie yet? Hopefully not, because then that means I would be going really slow. All right, so we did the vertical strips. Now we have to do the horizontal strips, and this is where you actually do need. Do you have a question? Do you have a question? Do you have a question? Or are you doing a performance art piece? Let's see. Henry, did you have a question? Or did you disappear? Oh, he's back in the house. Henry, did you finish your pie? Could you finish it already? I see. Not yet. All right. So this is what I was going to say. This is where the X-ray vision comes in. We're going to do the stripe going horizontally. So if you start with this stripe, and I think it's going to wiggle too. This line connects to this line, connects to this line. This line connects to this line, connects to this line, and then I make it thick. Make a little thin, or make the strip. And it's going to be not woven, but you have to show that one of the, like my orange, you have to show that my orange strip is connected all the way across. So this one connects to here. And so you could do the left side, or the top side, I should say, and then the bottom, linking up from one side of the pie plate all the way to the other side of the pie plate. And then I really recommend filling these in. I'm going to make mine blueberry, by the way. One of the best blueberry pies I've ever had are from the Amish market up here in Hunt Valley. That's where I live. And they call it the Dutch market. It's off of York Road. Like the best.
Hunt Valley.
Is that where, have you ever been to the Dutch market?
I don't think so. I live in Ridge Road.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm in Hunt Valley Station. But yeah, if you can ask your parents where it is, it's like a bunch of Amish vendors. So a bunch of Amish people have stores, and the bakery that's in there, I mean, I'm not kidding, the best blueberry pie I've ever had. My mom makes the best pumpkin pie, the best apple pie, the best pecan pie. But this blueberry pie from the Amish was the best I ever had. So that was my funny part that I was going to say is like, as I'm making the second layer of stripes, I was going to fill in the blocks that are between the crust. So these are thin strips of pie crust. And then you can look through into the apples that are at the bottom. I think there's apples that are in here. Yes, they are. It is an apple pie. But if I draw blue, then it becomes blueberry. Yeah, it's the bomb. Thank you for the approval, Henry. And then I promise we will do a slice of pie. And I think we're even going to do pumpkin pie. Don't tell my mom. One of the things you can do too, like I said, I draw pretty quickly. And just because I'm like so old and I've been drawing for so long, if you feel like you're rushing in order to fill in all of the squares, like just fill in at your right pace. And like, you know, there's the strips that run up and down, the pie crust strips that run up and down. There's the pie crust strips that run side to side, and then there's the gaps. So that's pretty good. If you don't finish it all, it's not like you can't finish it later.
We're like drawing noodles.
No, they look like noodles. I mean, noodles are the same way, like lasagna noodles, or even
Yeah.
pie.
Hey!
Hey,
Hey, Jacob, stop. Stop. Yeah.
Dude.
Hey.
Ow, ow.
Pay attention.
You're writing on there. Look at this.
Stop. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Jacob, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, cool. No worries. I'm wondering if I should put a pie crust, like no, they don't do it on this one, but I'll show you some of the other ones. Like a lot of pie crust, you have like a border that goes all the way around. And I think mine would look good if it had a border. So that's why I decided to put a border on there. It's not baked yet. You know, in the picture that we're looking at, it's an unbaked pie. But I feel like a pie will look more like a pie if it has a thicker crust around it. And since I already used red for the color of the crust, that looks good. Oh man. supposed to be not eating as many desserts, but it's going to be hard not to after this drawing. All right, so it's 3:44. That'll give us plenty of time. Take another minute or so, but I'll give you like a 2-minute warning here on this pie, and I'll add some details. But I want to have enough time to do the actual slice, which is going to be interesting because we're going to see the inside, we're going to see the top, and then I think this one has topping. Henry, nice, good. Can I see can we hold that one more time? Looks like your strips, yes. Yeah, great. Okay, cool. Well done, sir. Well done. Mm-hmm. And then, do you pronounce your name Leung? Did I say that right? Okay, cool. Can I see what you got so far? Oh, yeah, dude, you went big. That's beautiful. That's a nice pie. It's almost like a real size pie, or like a real size mini pie. That looks great. Thank you for showing it. All right, 2:45. One more minute on these and these details, then we'll switch over to get the piece. I think I'm gonna need this orange again because. All right, everybody, plug your ears. I have to sharpen my pencil. It's super loud. Sorry about that. I guess I could have muted it, but All right, here we go. Let me find the right page. This is going to take at least a minute, unless it goes to exactly the right spot, which it did go to exactly the right spot. Push this computer back. All right, I think we have two choices. I can slide this over. Yes. Slide this up. Get my pie. Okay, so I'm going to, whoa, nice. Henry, that was, you filled that in fast. Do you see how when you fill in those squares, how much it makes the other parts pop out? Yeah, that is, I didn't actually notice that until I saw your piece, but I think the same thing is true for mine. Like the blue really makes that red pop out. Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be hard. No, it's not gonna be hard. This is gonna be good. We're gonna have to think a little bit differently, and I'll show you what I mean. I think we'll start first with this piece of pie, and is that good? Is that are you happy with that one? Okay, cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna start like this. Are you ready? I'm gonna start with, there's an L shape. Now it's not like, it's actually kind of a backwards L. I want you to see, this is the thickness of the crust. So we have the thickness of the crust at the bottom, which we know about because the crust was on the bottom of the pan for the pear as well. And then this one goes up the side. Now, the hard part for what I think is gonna be the hard part is the fact that like you get this like curving boomerang. It's like this curving boomerang on the top. And then you get the back of the crust here. So before we do anything, let's just start with the simple shapes first. So I'm gonna build the thickness of the crust on the vertical. Oops, I'll drop it down a little bit. I'm gonna have to change so it fits on my paper. My pie crust might be a little bit small. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Oh, I'm gonna overlap this one so it'll fit. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. This is the bottom of my picture here. This is gonna be this. All right, so I'm gonna use a rectangle for the thickness of the crust, and then I'm gonna use another long rectangle for the thickness of the crust. That's basically the part that's on the bottom of the pie pan. So however long you make this rectangle is going to be how big your piece of pie is. So the longer you go on this rectangle, the bigger your pie is going to be. And honestly, it's the exact same piece of crust. It's just like this crust goes on the bottom and then it hits the edge of the pan and then it goes up the side of the pan. So maybe not gonna shade it like fully right now, but I mean, why not? Okay, what was that other color? Hold on, I'm gonna switch over to a yellow. Oh yeah, that's the right one. Yes, okay. So I had a yellow, a brownish orange for the crust. Now I'm gonna use a yellow. So whatever this is, whatever the filling is, could be eggs. Notice I'm using a rectangle, but I'm not going all the way to the top of the crust. But I'm basically making another rectangle. It's like another rectangle on top of the crust. That's part of the filling. Now, when I'm talking about X-ray vision and thinking differently, I need you to imagine that the dollop of sour cream or whipped cream, whatever that whipped cream is, imagine that that's not there, okay? So imagine it's not there, and you want to think, usually if you think of pizza, this would be like a super thick crust piece of pizza. We have to be able to see the top of the filling. So watch what I do here. It makes the thinnest triangle along the top. And then it finally curls around this way. So we're seeing the side of the filling, which is the thick part. And then we're seeing the top, which is the smooth part. And then we're going to see the boomerang, which is the thickness of the crust that goes all along the side of the pie pan. And it goes like that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, I taught you how to see use your X-ray vision to see the top of the piece of pie. But now the problem is that I gotta add this whipped cream on top, and I already have the yellow there. So, and I can't erase. So I need to use a darker color. What else can you put on top of pie? Should I just make it blue icing? Or maybe I can make it a blueberry pile. And here we go. All right, so I need to show that there's a pile of whipped cream on the top of this surface. So I'm going to show where it's sitting on the top, and then come up the side this way. And then it's going to spiral. Oh my gosh, you know what this reminds me? No, I'm not going to tell you what this reminds me of. But we're going to call it blue. We're going to call it blue icing, blueberry icing.
It reminds you of.
Don't say it, Henry. Do not say it. We're calling it blueberry icing. It's only because I have these colors. I only have a few colors today. But even still, I guess if you were drawing with regular pencil, you'd be able to erase it and then make the other icing on top. All right, let's put it on a plate. I'm gonna move this over so we can put it on a plate. And this is where we're gonna kind of see the donut too. Not see the donut, but I'll show you what I mean. When we were trying to draw the whole of the donut, you had to see that it looked like a Frisbee from the side. And there are way more complicated ways of drawing like a plate seen from the side, but we're not gonna kind of do that today. We will someday. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Look at how you can see there's like a little shadow on the plate underneath the pie crust. Wow, that's interesting. I hadn't seen that. And looks like a little shadow on the plate. So I did the boomerang around the plate, so it's really thin because we're kind of looking at the side, and then I can draw like the thickness of the plate. And I'll probably shade that a little bit gray. And then I'm going to put this whole thing into a rectangle. So that, and if you don't put it in a rectangle, you could add the other piece of pie. You could add the second piece of pie. I'm going to start a whole nother piece of paper. So I'm going to put my guy inside of a rectangle because this piece is only about this one piece of pie. If you want to add two pieces of pie to the same composition, don't put in the rectangle. And I'm going to draw the edge of the table up here. And maybe I'll make a, should I make a red tablecloth? I like that, red tablecloth. Make my marks go side to side. Maybe I'll add some yellow wallpaper, some stripes. So like I said, it's nice to have, it's nice to make a drawing, but it's really good to put it in a rectangle so you can understand what's in the environment. And you can make the environment really simple. You can make it super complex. I mean, you could add imagine this. What if I put I can put like a window back here. And just in this little window, I could draw a whole nother piece of pie, but maybe it's blueberry pie in a windowsill with some pie crust. I'm just saying, I'm doing this just to kind of be funny in that, like, just because you have a you've just drawn an object doesn't mean you can't really fill your picture with a lot of interesting material. So I made very simple tabletop, very simple background, and the blueberry icing on top of our cake. Oh, I see there's some like green flakes. I have green. I kind of like the flakes. If you look closely, there's flakes on the plate, and there's flakes on the top of the dessert. And I don't know, and I think it might be a savory thing. Yes, nice, Henry. So if I put little green flakes on the top of my pie and then also on the edge of the plate, it just gives it another texture and another color, makes it like a little bit more interesting. And it looks like there's a lot of green on top of the icing. So these are just random colors at this point. But it's fun. Hopefully this was fun. Oh, also, if you wish, hold on, everybody plug your ears. I got to sharpen this pencil. No, it's so bad. It's so bad. We have 3 minutes. So if you guys are up for it, sometimes you can draw really fast if you draw really small. So imagine making a drawing that's like the size of like a quarter or even smaller. This other piece of pie is so fun. It's got 3 layers. It's got the pie crust, it's got the strawberry layer, then it's got the cake layer, and then it's got the frosting layer. Do you dare draw the layers? You don't even have to draw it like in 3D. We could just draw it in 2D. But we got 3 minutes left. So I'm just gonna try and draw, and I'll draw it larger so you guys can see it. But if you want to draw it, I would draw it small. So we're gonna do the L shape for the pie crust at the bottom. So the pie crust against the pan, and the pie crust that comes up against the pan, and then this has stuff that what is it called? It like cooks over, it boils over the side. All right, now we have to do a strawberry layer. So I'm going to do chunks of red strawberries. You can draw an actual strawberry shape. Imagine they were like sliced or whatever. You can also draw like chunks, like I'm seeing like triangles, seeing like little rectangles. And then on top of that one, you have the crust layer, like the cake layer or the crust layer. Man, that looks so good. I cannot even believe how good that looks. And that comes higher than the crust. Look how it bellows up. This pie is so full, so full. And then on top of that, it looks like there's a layer of actual icing. So I'm gonna use gray. I'm gonna draw the thickness of that icing, and then I'm gonna show a wispy top. And it's 3:59. I did the crust, I did the strawberry, I did the cake, and then I did the whipped cream, all within 2 minutes. Now, am I gonna be able to color it all in? Maybe not, but I'll try. There's like a nice red layer for the strawberry. Henry, nice shades, dude. Very nice shades. And I'll do a little cake layer for the crust. So much for not rushing. I was like, don't rush. Be quick, but don't hurry. Meanwhile, I'm like trying to finish a drawing in 3 minutes. Anyway, that was fun. Hope you guys liked it. Look at all your filters. Ooh, Kate Johnson. Kate Johnson. No way. No way. Oh my gosh. I just had one of my students, I taught her when she was like your guys' age. She just texted me. She might work at the school. She just graduated college. Unbelievable. All right. Oh, nice hydrangea. Congratulations. Yes, she graduated college. Exactly like that, Henry. Let's see, guys. Do you guys have any questions? Can I see the last piece? Can I see that? We guys hold up the last piece? And then I got to go. Well, let's see. How'd you do? Wow. You definitely ended on a high note. That might be the best one. It was done in 2 minutes. Maybe not the best one. I'm not judging, but. Wow, you guys, that's a nice sheet. Well, like I said, it's way more healthy to draw this pie and these donuts. Look at that, unreal. Great work. Than it is to eat this much. You can draw as many pieces of pie as you want. You may not eat as many pieces of pie as you want. I'll leave that up to your folks. I like that halo, Henry. Henry, can I see your last drawing? Did you get that one last piece of pie? No? All right. All right, guys, that was super fun. Welcome everybody to to your first class. I hope you like that. Henry, keep rocking. Jacob, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao. You're welcome.